at night, but we got another character that Did you write this guy up, or how do you know this?
I know Bronx Mikey from the beach on Long Island, and just talking about growing up Italian in New York, and Mikey grew up in the Bronx, and I used to ask him. I used to know Mikey from the beach, and he'd show up. Like, I knew Mikey was the real deal. He'd show up with a cooler. He had the gabagool. He had the mozzarella. He had what was it? The Manhattan Specials. This guy came correct to the beach. Everyone else would bring there like a bag of Wise potato chips, and they were good for the day. And Mikey would just show up with a cooler for and I used to ask him where he got it. And he had this place in, I guess it was, Throg's Neck, I think it was. But Mikey, are you with us this morning?
Yeah. Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going over there?
How are you? Good. I think you took a coffee break from the job, huh?
Oh yeah. We're busy. You know how it is. We're busy.
All right.
Keep busy.
Yeah, well, we'll keep it at Bronx Mikey. I know you have you got a job with the, a government job. Let's leave it at that, so it wouldn't cause any static. But so we had I did send you the video about this guy, the kind of takeoff on growing up in Brooklyn Italian. Tony Gaga, I got a guy, the whole thing, back of a truck, fell off the back of a truck. But I mean, you grew up. What was it like growing up in the Bronx, where you grew up? I don't know, was it Morris Park, or where are you from originally?
Well, I'm originally Trucks Neck, and the time frame was 60s into the 70s. And back then, growing up in Trucks Neck, people don't realize we were right near the water. And as soon as I was old enough, I got on my bicycle, I rode down to the water, and that's where we were. Trucks Neck, Pelham Bay, City Island. But before I was allowed to go to the boat, I had to do my chores around the house. I had to help my grandpa with the tomato plants and the big trees and the rucoliapa and everything, because we had a big lot on the side. So this day I'm living there. I'm very proud to say I'm still living in the same house 61 years now. When my grandfather came over from Italy, he was fortunate enough he bought the house right after WW2. And we got the house, and the house is still in the family.
How about the garden?
And I also... Yeah, with the garden. Not as big as it used to be, because I don't really have the time for it. Yeah. But, we still got it. And then when he passed away, I had to fly all the relatives out. It was cheaper than having them killed. You know how that goes. So I had to do that. And it was really nice with all the special stuff. And the reason why I always packed such a great lunch is because that's what we used to do when we were kids. We used to have the wax paper with the eggplant, with the oil, and everything, the potatoes and eggs. And that's the way we were taught. Always make it, bring it to the beach, and you had it. And then naturally, when you're at the beach, you got to share with everybody. Make sure you got enough, a little bit for this guy, a little bit for that guy.
Yeah.
And it's always good. It's a good thing. Good memories. And the guys over there at Tobay were always great to me. They took me in. They always say to me, Bronx Mikey, how'd you find it here? I said, well, one day I got blown off course. And this is where I was. This is where I wound up. Right. And I'm very happy. I'm very blessed that I got to find Tobay.
Yeah.
I found it by accident. Like I said, I got blown off course one day. I got lost. Like Christopher Columbus discovered America. Almost the same thing.
Yeah, the kid from the Bronx. Yeah, the kid from the Bronx winds up on Long Island. So let me ask you, where do you go actually in Throg's Neck? What's the best deli so people know? Italian deli.
The best Italian deli is a place. Everybody says, places 187 on their area, but there's a place called Barino's on Imperial Avenue in the Bronx. The guy's been there. Mo and Mike, we call them the M&M boys. They make the best mozzarella you could come across. As a matter of fact, when they first opened up the place about maybe 7-8 years ago, I went in there. I wished them luck, the whole bit, and they tasted the mozzarella, and I got all excited about the mozzarella. I says, where? I says, who made this mozzarella? Who made this mozzarella? I had to talk to the guy. It turned out the guy that was making the mozzarella was the same guy that was from my grandfather's neighborhood.
Okay.
153rd and Morris City in the Bronx. Again, back from the 50s and the 60s. Same way, because I haven't tasted mozzarella like that. And, like you say, with the mozzarella, the prosciutto, the supersata, the eggplant. It's just a beautiful thing. It's just a beautiful thing.
Let me just ask you something. For people who don't grow up around, Italian delis and Italian culture and that and cuisine, they see things like mozzarella, capricola, sopressata. But of course, this is to grow up around Italian people, you wouldn't even know it was the same thing, right? Like,
well, you know what it is.
How did Coca-Cola become gabagool? Like,
You know what it is? It's a neighborhood thing. What you say? Like I walk into a store and I says, I think a juffalo. Now, what a juffalo is the I don't even know the English word. Now, this is the point I'm trying to make. Is the artichoke. The artichoke that comes with the breadcrumbs in it and everything. Certain words I learned growing up. I didn't realize it was an Italian word. And it's just, as you grow in the neighborhood, what it is, you pick it up. It's like whenever I go in, I order a slice of Sicilian with alice. Now, if you don't know what alice is just anchovies. But I'm always used to saying alice. Different words, different catchphrases that we grew up with. You just learn it and you just pick it up and it becomes a habit. If it's good English, bad English, who knows? But it's just the way it works, It's just the nature of the beast, as they say.
Now in New York, I mean, like a guy like yourself, we're just another New Yorker and stuff like that, especially in the boroughs. But if you go on vacation somewhere else, do people kind of like, oh, look, this guy, Italian guy from New York, Do they does that draw attention?
Oh, absolutely. No matter where I go, and I enjoy, and I'm proud, and I feel. First of all, we're all American. Okay, I love America. My grandparents came over here. First of all, my grandfather always told me, American first. America always gives everybody the tools that they need. Also, number two is, you have to be proud of your heritage, but always remember where you live, where you come from. But like I said, growing up, right away they think I'm from Brooklyn, and I always say the people from Brooklyn and the Bronx, we argue so much because we're so much alike. Because I always think of Brooklyn all the time. People, whenever I travel, they think I'm from Brooklyn. Even people from Jersey think I'm from Brooklyn. Well, Jersey's another planet anyway. That's another story. I don't want to get my family in Jersey mad at me. I always say, you guys are from another planet. Don't talk to me.
Mike, before you came on, we had on Vic DiBenedetto, and a great comedian, and he was doing a character called Tony Gaga. And he was talking about 4th of July buying fireworks, and he kept saying, like, I know a guy that can get it for way cheaper. And growing up in Queens, 4th of July was a war zone. I mean, here we are, 12 years old, going into these apartments and buying ash cans, cherry bombs, these type of fireworks were munitions, and then setting them off and then firing pencil rockets at each other and Roman candles. What was it like in the Bronx back then?
But the Bronx, it was pretty much the same. But you know what it was? My mother and father were very strict. I tell you the truth, I wasn't allowed to do that. Whatever I had to do was like under the table. Yeah, we were lucky again. I had the club down here, so we went down to the water and we did it. But my family was very strict. They wouldn't really stand for that. Like I would sneak out and maybe smoke a little babanya or maybe have a few drinks. You wasn't supposed to do some stuff. But it was pretty basically the same. No matter where you were in the 5 boroughs, that was the thing. It was almost fun to do it because it was illegal. You know what I'm saying? That was the norm back then. But my parents were very strict. They didn't let me do it. A couple of times I got some beaten. Later on when I was in therapy, they said, "Oh, you poor thing. You was an abused child. You were abused." I said to them, "Hey," I said, "every beating I got, I deserved. Not counting all the beatings I got away with."
So you mentioned these clubs down by the water. I mean, we're talking about down by Edgewater and Country Club, and these like the coast of the Bronx, right? On basically on the East River. So what club did you and I guess your father was instrumental in one of the clubs? What are some of these clubs? Most New Yorkers don't even know about these places, and they still exist. Yeah. People swim, they boat.
Well, we had. You know what it was? It was a funny thing too because the club that I'm a member of is White Cross Fishing Club. It was originally all Germans. Back then, that area was all German and Irish, and then the Italians came in. So you got Turner Club. Actually, they Americanized the name. It used to be Turnverein, which means sporting club in German. So you got the Turner Club, you got White Cross, you got DA, which is Dutch Association. You got the Mannheim Club, which is Swedish, and all those clubs were great. And that was like our gateway to the water, to Long Island Sound, to Eastchester Bay. City Island was on one side, and Eastchester Bay was on the other side.
Right.
It was great, and I saw pictures from back in the day, from the 20s and the 30s. They used to actually canoe. They used to canoe kayak before it became trendy. The old Germans and the old Irish, especially the old Germans. It was interesting. So,
and the clubs are still there. The people are still swimming.
And still there. Mm-hmm. We have the interclub races, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good, it's working man. We're all blue collar workers. You got cops, firemen, sanitation, postal workers, and it's nice. It's nice. It's a place to go there, hang out. The beers it's cheap. It's like hanging out at like an American Legion post,
like on the water,
right? or something like that. Or Knights of Columbus.
Don't worry. Listen, the hipsters are going to find it and ruin it. Like they did with Rockaway. It's only a matter of time. You're going to have artisanal. What is it? Locavore food, whatever. You won't be able to find a hot dog. So.
It's good. Food is such an important thing today, and now all this fancy stuff it became so trendy with the pasta and this and that. It's just the culture now. Everything's starting to catch up. It's all old stuff, and it's just the way the culture's going today. It's becoming trendy to eat pizza and to eat pasta 3-4 times a week, and whatever, because we couldn't afford it. My father had 3 jobs, rest in peace. He worked, and like me, even when I started with one of those phone companies in 1980, I was making $150 a week. Out of $150 a week, I was bringing home $90. I had 2 other jobs, so it was the normal. You wanted, you're fun, but you had to pay. Now, like today, the kids, they're on the computers. We didn't have no iPhones. This, that. Everybody in the neighborhood knew in 5 minutes what was happening. You always have like a town crier, or this guy's on that guy knew the other guy, like Mr. Gagas. I got a guy before the internet. We used to say, hey, who do you know? Who do we see? Even at Tobay. Hey, who's this guy? Who's that guy? This guy, that guy's with the other guy, and it all works out. We don't need no damn computers.
Yeah, I guess now they say there's an app for that. That's the big saying now. But before that, there was a guy for that, right?
That's it. That's the whole thing. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Mikey, let me get back to work. I know you're the key to the operation there, keeping the city moving. Let's say that.
Oh yeah. Thank God. Yeah. But I appreciate talking to you guys, and God bless America.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mikey. Bronx Mikey, folks. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to shift gears now from our stint on growing up Italian in New York and making comedy out of it in some cases